Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah. When we unite. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at your wonderfully shiny faces. I love it, love it. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Ocala, this place of love, light, learning, and lots of fun. Y'all remember yesterday? Yeah? Right? Who was here yesterday? Go ahead and show hands. Right? So these are all the awesome kids that were here yesterday. We had so much fun. It was amazing. Our events team, you know who you are. Events team, please stand for a second. You know who you are. Come on. You know you volunteered your time, your energy, your time. Stand up. You know you put some stuff that, come on. It's okay, Aaron. I see you back there. All of y'all that help, stand up, stand up, stand up. And they're not all here. Shanda back there, listen. The events team kind of works, ebbs and flows and works in the background, and then they just, boom, come together and magic happens. And what happened yesterday was magic, and I was just so grateful to be here. We had so many people here playing and loving on each other and doing games together and just celebrating love, you know, love for ourselves, love for community, love for each other. It was amazing. We also have these wonderful community vision boards. We want to go ahead and leave them out. We left everything out so y'all can enjoy the little residuals of it, right, since if you weren't here. But we have these awesome vision boards here for our community and our spiritual center here at CSL Ocala, and we'd like for you to add your energy to it. If it's a word, if it's a little heart that's drawn, if it's a picture that's cut out, I don't care what it is, a little sprinkle of glitter if you're a fairy, that's okay. Just add a little bit of you to that, because we're going to be hanging them up back there and just calling that vision to us as a community. As we come in and out of this space, as new people come in and out, they will be seeing that vision and they will get it, right? And the more we get it together, the more that we can move together. So welcome, welcome. At Center for Spiritual Living Ocala, we have a vision that we are a model center for spiritual living, as evidenced by the transformational impact we have on our spiritual community, which is y'all, the CSL community at large, which is everybody in CSL, over 400 CSLs all over the world. Yes, 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 yes. And the community at large, everybody, meaning Ocala, Florida, United States, the world, the cosmos, all of it. We are affecting all of it because we know that all of it's connected anyway. So me, from this point, can send light out and it'll expand. And our mission is to empower individuals so that when they're sending their light out, they feel good about it, right? We're empowering individuals to awaken to the power and presence that lies within, right? Not that lies without and then hopefully bring it in. It lies here, then it bursts forward, just like our little logo, look. See, it comes from here and bursts forward the way that you show up in the world. We want to awaken you to the power and presence that lies within and all around you, because everybody else has that light as well, that you may live your very best lives from that point of existence. We have some values here at CSL Ocala. Spiritual growth and practice. Repeat that after me.
Spiritual growth and practice.
How about love? Love. Appreciation. How about this one? Community. Freedom. One more time, freedom. One more time, freedom. That's for our Afro-American people this month. Creativity. Health and wholeness. Generosity. Financial well-being. Fabulous. And I am just loving every single one of those values today, because it's near and dear to my heart, and I'm so glad we picked them together as a community. And so, right now, I invite you to go within, close your eyes if that feels good for you, or just let your gaze soften as we step into this thing that we call spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, training our mind to see the truth of what is. I recognize the allness of the one beautiful, amazing energy that lives and has its being in all things. It's the inside, the outside, the up, the down, the here, the there. It's over here, it's down there, it what was and what is to be. It is all of it. I recognize that power and presence that is creativity and wholeness and generosity and abundance and health, that power that is perfection that I call God. I recognize that God is everywhere present. And because God is everywhere, I know that it is right where I stand, that I too am standing on holy ground. I too am the expression of creativity and oneness and wholeness. And I know that if that's true for me, it's true for any other person within the sound of my voice who has exists, whoever shall exist. It's true for every living thing on this planet because we are all connected. It is from that space of awareness that I speak my word, knowing that this divine energy that is the community of CSL Ocala, as we gather today online or in person, that we are reminded of our wholeness, that we are accepting our oneness, that we're stepping into unconditional love for divine energy that is us, moving and having its being through us. I know that every word that comes through Reverend Cindy today is spirit speaking. Every sound of the drum as we pull upon the indigenous folk that used to be on this land, those people who are alive and well and thriving in those communities with their stroke. We are pulling upon the African culture, the indigenous culture, the European culture. All of it together, we are rising as a humankind, along with our animal brothers and sisters, and the trees and the flowers and the grass. And as we breathe in, and they breathe out, and they breathe in, and we breathe out, we are connected to the allness that is life itself. And we are reminded that we too are a part of the symphony. It is from that space of awareness that I can breathe in the peace that is the allness. I'm so grateful for that knowingness. I'm grateful for that peace. I'm grateful for that unconditional love that is life pulsating in my body, in my heartbeat, through my words, on my very breath, and on the drums in your ears. It is with gratitude that I release this now into the law, that fertile soil that makes everything grow, divine intelligence that sees and knows all things. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Reverend Cindy Grimes, y'all. Yep.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We've got some first-time visitors here. Yeah, lots of first-time visitors. Raise your hand if you're here for the first time. There we go. Thank you. We honor you and thank you for being here and hope you have a wonderful time. So just sit back and enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, it's a little different here. It's okay. We like being
Yes, you noticed. This isn't our usual setup, but it was so much fun. It was so beautiful when I walked in last night. I said, let's just keep the fun going. So here we are. Here we are. And thank you, Donna, for that beautiful prayer. What a wonderful opening and setup. Ready? My glasses. Maybe I don't. I was walking down the streets. I was feeling mighty fine when I caught a glimpse in a window of my behind. There was a jiggle and a wiggle that I'd never seen before. And as I looked a little closer, oh my God, I found more. I freaked out and I shrieked out, well, this has just ruined my day. When I heard a voice inside me say, lighten up, don't take it so seriously. Lighten up, Trust the mystery.
Lighten up.
It doesn't matter anyway, just enjoy your life. Get out of your own way.
Lighten up.
Now I'm headed to a party to meet my friends. I've got an outfit that's to die for. Honey, I'm just the living end. And as I scope out the scene, it's obvious to me that the money at this party, well, it's simply obscene. See, they're talking about their mansions, their yachts, and dropping names. And in an instant, I feel unworthy, small and ashamed. And as I try to make a beeline, step out the back door, I hear that voice inside me saying once more, lighten up. Don't take it so seriously.
Lighten up.
Trust the mystery.
Lighten up.
It doesn't matter anyway, just enjoy your life. Get out of your own way.
Lighten up.
Y'all can get jazzy with me. Worrying and judging, what good does it do when you compare yourself to me and I compare myself to you? This disease to please has just got to go. When I love myself, that's all I need to know. Now looking in the mirror, a new wrinkle has appeared. Do I curse? Do I stress? It's the thing I most fear. But then I remember my new mantra, and I soon realize that I am perfect, even with wrinkles and cellulite thighs. I don't have to change a thing, no struggle or try, 'cause our real beauty comes from deep inside. Lighten up. I won't take it so seriously.
Lighten up.
I'm gonna trust the mystery.
Lighten up.
It doesn't matter anyway, just enjoy your life. Get out of your own way. Lighten up.
Don't take it so seriously. Lighten up.
I'm gonna trust the mystery.
Trust the mystery.
Yes, yes.
Lighten up.
'Cause it doesn't matter anyway, I'm gonna enjoy my life. Get out of my own way. Lighten up. Don't take it so seriously.
Lighten up.
I'm gonna give myself a break. 'Cause it feels so
Lighten up.
good to lighten up. Oh, goodness gracious. Isn't that fun? Yes, we're talking about lightening up. In fact, the whole year, that is our theme for the year, is this idea of traveling light and all of its manifestations. You know, the idea of being like unburdened. Would anybody benefit from that in here? To feel like you could travel through life feeling ease and grace? Or are you traveling like this guy over here? So yes, we're talking about traveling light as being unburdened, but also in being the light to others, right? We're all on this journey home, and if we can carry that presence of home and lightness and love everywhere we go, people can be at home in our presence. And that's how we change the world. We start it from the inside out, and it ripples out to every life that we touch. And so that's what we're talking about this year. And a couple of weeks ago, how many of you were here for our annual meeting? Yes, we're just kicking it off in really grand style, and thank you all for being here. I want to thank Reverend Peggy in particular. If you were here, I don't know if you heard the comment she made about this teaching that's called the Science of Mind. That's what we teach here at Centers for Spiritual Living. And Reverend Peggy said, this teaching of the Science of Mind is the most valuable thing in the world. How many of you heard her say that? Right? So it kind of like, I don't know that I ever heard it said exactly that way, but it kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit. And I thought, wow, do I believe with that same kind of conviction that Reverend Peggy does, that this teaching is the most valuable thing in the world? What's the most valuable thing? And I just kept thinking about it and just let it drop. You know how you have a seed in consciousness and you think about it. And so throughout the week, I was just thinking about it and thinking about it. And how do I feel about that statement? And then we were invited to a wedding. My husband's nephew got married last Saturday, or whatever, the weekend after that, anyway. And I was thinking about what advice I would give to the bride and groom. Like, what is the best piece of advice I've ever gotten in my life? The thing that made the most difference that I would want to share with them. And it was this. It was this. The sooner you let go of being a victim of life, the better off you will be. Where did I get that idea? Of course, it was this teaching that we call the science of mind. It's what helped me really understand this idea of being a victim or being a conscious creator of my life. And it made all the difference, all the difference. I mean, I can tell you, well, certainly I wouldn't be up here if I hadn't walked into the center 20 years ago. But I was in a very, very, very different time in my life. I mean, there's a possibility that I wouldn't even be standing here. That's how different my life was 20 years ago, 100 pounds ago. Well, 80. It was 100. But needless to say, it has been such an impactful journey, this learning, this teaching it to others, living it. So I think I have to agree with you, Reverend Peggy. For sure, the advice and what I have learned from this teaching has been the most valuable thing. So much so that I stand here now and I, share it with others. So what is this? What is this thing? And for those of you who are new, who've maybe never stepped into a center before, the founder of this philosophy, we don't call it necessarily a religion, although some people do, is called the science of mind. And the founder is this man, Ernest Holmes, over 100 years ago. Is that right? I don't even remember. Close to 100, yes. So if you look at the Science of Mind book, it says, the tagline, it's a comprehensive guide to the limitless potential of the human mind. In other words, if you read this stuff and you start to use these ideas and these principles and practices, you can maximize your life. You can use the gifts that you came here to give. Live your life to the max. Anybody else want to live their life I don't want to leave anything behind. I want to live it all. I want to be at the end of it used up, done. And can anybody else relate to that? Yeah, so here's what this science of mind is. It is a practical study of consciousness and truth principles from scientific, philosophical, psychological, and spiritual perspectives. So the training that I did had all of those elements. We learned science, we learned leadership, we learned education, we learned psychology, philosophy, and of course all the world's great religions, and pulled the common threads from all of those different traditions. And so by pulling from all those different perspectives, we help individuals maximize their potential. And so the idea is based on the principle that consciousness, awareness, God, whatever you want to call it, source, creator, is the essence of everything there is. It is the source and substance of all that is. In other words, God, right? We can't keep it out. There is no spot where God is not. I mean, it's like here, whether you believe it or know it, you can say, I don't believe in gravity. I don't believe in this science. Well, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. You're still subject to it. And so it's the same with us. There is this power and presence that some call God, and we live within it, whether we like it, know it, agree with it, believe it, doesn't matter. It's still what it is. So we are one with that consciousness, and we use it to create our experience of life. Like all the raw material is here, everything we need to live our lives to this maximum potential, but we have to do it. And we're using this power and presence and consciousness to create our experience. Does that make sense? So we have no control over whether or not we use this power to create, because we are creating all the time. Thought is always creative whether we know it or not, because that's our nature. So wouldn't it be helpful to be creating from a purposeful, conscious place rather than creating by default? So Eckhart Tolle, how many know that name? Eckhart Tolle. Yes, Eckhart Tolle says, there is only one perpetrator of evil on the planet, and that's human unconsciousness. With this realization, the victim identity dissolves and your true power emerges. Instead of blaming the darkness, you bring it into the light. Right? The thing that is causing us all of this trouble in humanity and in our world is our unconsciousness to the truth of who we are and our creative capacity. It's a deep statement, but think about your life, because it's the macro and it's the micro. It's all of it. So, how many of you have heard this? Religion is for people afraid of going to hell. Huh? And spirituality then is for people who've been there. Anybody else know that one? Anybody else been there? Know that experience? I love this little meme here. It says, not believing in hell doesn't lower the temperature down there, not 1 single degree. And then this, I actually did not know this definition. I never heard this, but the definition of hell, it comes from the English word, the Saxon verb meaning to cover, to conceal, or to hide. Isn't that fascinating? Right? So hell is the darkness. So how do we remedy the darkness? Let's shine some light on it. Duh! It's so easy, right? It's so easy. But we've been told a whole lot of stuff. And I think this is just hilarious. I don't know if you all can read it. So it's Jesus knocking on the door and he says, let me in. The person inside says, why? He says, so I can save you. Person says, from what? He says, from what I'm going to do to you if you don't let me in. That just kind of tickles me. But this is kind of our view. It's a very common kind of mainstream view of religion and God, right? You better let me in or else. So this is what Ernest Holmes said about it. I don't believe in hell, and I happen to agree. I don't believe in hell, the devil, damnation, or in any future state of punishment. God does not punish people. There is, however, a law of cause and effect which governs all and which automatically will punish impartially and impersonally if we are in conflict with the fundamental harmony of the universe. Right? The rain falls on everyone. Whether you're good, you're bad, you're ugly, you're fat, you're rich, you're whatever. It's the same rain, the same sun, the same everything. All of these things are not respecters of persons, right? They don't care. We all have an expiration date. It doesn't matter whether you've lived your life like a saint or you've been a sinner, you wait till the last minute to do all your confession. It doesn't matter. We're all checking out of here. It's not punishment. Right? So make the best of your experience. I feel so blessed. As a young woman, I got to work for hospice. I didn't even have kids yet. In fact, I got the job the week I found out I was pregnant. And here I was carrying a new life as I was walking in, taking care of people who were at the end of theirs. And it really was a mind-blowing kind of thing. You know, there was guilt, there was sadness, there was so much learning, so much incredible learning. But it was a great lesson because I keep it in front of me all the time. There are people who don't like to think about that moment, that inevitability. But the faster you can accept that this is what's so, you know, then you can move on with living your life. There are some people so afraid of dying, you know, that they never start to live. Right? Too many of us. So why do we perpetuate these states of victimhood? Why do we live in hell when we know that our time is short, right? When we know that it's valuable, that, you know, this life, how many feel like life is valuable? You know, it's worth being here, right? But yet, we still, like, entertain this craziness, this hellish experience. Why do we do that? Well, it's a few reasons. I don't know that these are all of them, but I'm going to throw a few out there, and if you have some more, we can talk about it on our during our circles. But we inherit unconscious patterns of thought from the collective unconscious, aka race consciousness. Has anyone ever heard that idea? You know, we came into this world that was already kind of here, right? We all came into it, and so there's a setting. If you'd been born 200 years ago, it would have been a whole other set and setting. Right? So we've inherited all of those patterns and thoughts of behavior and ways of being from the millennia of humanity that's been here, right? We were set up for the game. Then we develop unhealthy thought patterns through our upbringing. Okay, anybody else have a family that had a lot of fun in their dysfunction? Assuming we all had lots of dysfunction, yes? I don't think you probably didn't walk in here unless there's something, right? We all have something. That's another thing I found out doing hospice work and this kind of crisis work is that everybody has their dramas. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how privileged your background was or wasn't. Everybody's got drama. Everybody's got something. That's part of the human journey. That's why we're here. So we develop unhealthy thought patterns through our upbringing. And why do we perpetuate victimhood? Because we can. This is where it gets a little slippery, a little, shadowy here. Because we like the contrast. We like the contrast. There's something about playing this game of the human life. And if everything went exactly the way you wanted it all of the time, it's kind of like, what fun would that be? There's no growth, right? There's no opportunity for growth there. So maybe, just maybe, we take on these challenges just to see if we can get on the other side of them. Not on purpose, of course, because your conscious mind is saying, I would never want to do that. But clearly, because it is happening, there is some part of you that has brought it into your existence, or it's part of your learning challenge, or whatever it is, whether you made the decisions before coming into this experience, or somehow, some way, you're getting something out of it. We all are. It serves our subconscious purposes. So let's say someone who is, I'm thinking of a woman now who, when we were introduced at a workshop, she introduced herself as a breast cancer survivor. And I thought that was interesting. And it's wonderful, of course, that she survived breast cancer, but, for like 20 years. And how long does she keep... What's that? It becomes her identity. Thank you, Norma. How long do you hold on to that identity? Because every time you say it, you're kind of bringing it into reality again, right? Instead of just letting it go, like be in the moment. To me, it's part of like that baggage almost that you're carrying, right? Because her identity was wrapped up in that being a survivor. Well, you're way more than that. Way, way more than that. So there are things that we get out of these uncomfortable patterns of behavior, right? The person who's always sick, maybe. What comes with sickness? Attention, right? Sympathy. Yeah, so there's a little something, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but when you become conscious of it, you can realize, wow, I need a little extra TLC, and maybe I can just ask for it. Maybe I can just get it from my significant other without having to get sick, without having to generate sympathy in other ways. Does that make sense? Right? Or, there's so many things. And if you want to have a prac session about this, we can do that. We have a few practitioners that can help people talk these things through. But yeah, we get something out of that victimization, and we've forgotten who we are. We get so caught up in the rat race of life and just getting by one day to the next, of paying the bills and whatever your struggle is, or losing weight or having the relationship, that you forget the magnificence, that power and presence that you have at your disposal at every moment. Your mind. Your mind. When you change your thinking, when you change the way you look at situations, the whole thing can change. Right? It's kind of like, when you've got a camera and things are out of focus and all of a sudden you hit that point and now you can see everything, the whole thing changes. Or you just change perspective, you get a little bit higher up. Anybody ever like to hike, climb mountains? When you're in the trudge, when you're in the moment of it, it's painful, you're not seeing a whole lot. And then you get to the top. Like finally, you go through all of this stuff so you could get that vista, and everything changes because you got a different perspective, right? You got higher up enough from the situation that you could look at it a little bit differently and see better where you've been and where you're headed. That's what spiritual practice is for, right? It's so we can get ourselves a little bit up above the circumstance so we can get a new angle on it. So, are you playing victim? Are you playing creator? Because we're all playing the roles and we bounce in and out of them. Y'all know that? And you might be a victim in one area of your life, but really successful and victorious and own your creation in other areas of your life. But we all have our stuff. So here's how you can tell if you're in that slippery kind of place, because it's not conscious. Remember, it's unconscious, these things that are coming up for us. And it's for your benefit. Believe it or not, it's for your benefit. I was out walking on the track the other night, and this awful memory came up. It just popped up out of the blue, and it really kind of messed up my whole mojo. You know that word? Like your whole kind of mood. And it was the craziest thing, as I'm having this memory, these people popped up from nowhere, like 20 years ago. And I see I'm coming up to the parking lot, and this couple gets out of their car, and they get on the track to walk, and who is it? The couple that I had the bad. Like it just bubbled up, and then suddenly here they are. Crazy, mind-blowing things are happening in my world. But I do believe it's because of clearing. You know, I'm clearing the stuff out. I'm clearing the things out of my house. I told you all we got the 15-yard dumpster. Grady and I had it filled it with 3 days after Christmas. It was full, and I thought, wow, there's a clearing there. And it's happening here too, emotionally, psychologically. The other night, during the full moon, I sat down and I wrote a half dozen forgiveness letters because the stuff was bubbling up and I could feel it. And I don't want to have animosity toward anybody, right? The idea that this memory from 20 years ago popped up into my head where I don't want to walk next to these people, I'm sure they didn't even know. They didn't have any idea. I'm the one carrying this stuff. I'm the one feeling yucky about it. You know, they're on their way, having a good old time. I need to let it go for me, right? So, are you playing victim or are you in the creator mode? Here's one thing. If you are living in this idea of us versus them, you know, you're living in that paradigm, you're in the victim mentality. Versus having compassion for yourself and for others, recognizing our common humanity. That's the other end. That's the creator mentality. Blaming or shaming. We can blame other people for our problems, but what that does, the blaming, the shaming, somebody else out there, keeps you from looking at your stuff right here. And really, it doesn't serve any purpose unless you're going to do something about it. We can instead acknowledge the reality of what's so. Let me go back to that one before I go into this one. So think about the idea of moving into the house. We moved into a fixer-upper 20 years ago. It's not fixed yet. You know, but we can blame, like I did, you know, the previous owners. They didn't take care of this, they didn't take care of that, and kind of offsetting the blame. It's not my fault. You know, we moved into a mess, right? But the fact is, we're living in it. And it doesn't matter whose problem it is. It's my problem because I'm living in it. It doesn't matter who was here before. What matters is what I do with it now. And that's what, you know, think about this mess that we've inherited as a nation. You know, we weren't involved in slavery and Jim Crow and these awful things, but we're living in it. We have to fix it. We can blame other people, but that's wasted energy. What we have to do is acknowledge the reality of where we are here and now and take action. That moves you out of victimhood. So, demanding accountability from others. I want you to fix yourself. I work in the spiritual realm here at the center, and then I have an activist role as well. So I work with peace builders and, you know, people who hold up the picket signs and, you know, into all of that. And they want to fix out there. I actually had somebody say, don't give me that bullshit about it all starts in here. The change needs to happen out there. I was like, okay. Okay. Well, then we have the spiritual folks who were like, if you all would just do what I do, your world would be wonderful like mine. But somehow we've got to pull these, you know, the activists who are all about out there, and then the spiritual folks who are like, it's all in here, and somehow find this place in the middle. Right? That we can do both. We can do both. We need to tend to ourselves absolutely and foremostly. But we can't ignore the stuff out there because it is a reflection of what's happening in here. We're all one. So we can't demand accountability from others. We have to be accountable for ourselves. And I'm going to talk about this more next month, but it's a really easy way to remember. Don't should on people. It's not polite. Instead, turn it around and say, what could I do? I don't should on anybody else. What could I do? Because where is the control? In fact, why don't you say to yourself, I'm in control of, look at a partner. Say, I'm in control of my life. You got it? Okay. And I'm not in control of yours. Here you go. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Don't demand accountability from other people, right? What can you do for yourself? What can I do? It's not what he, she, or they should. Turn it around. There's a whole process around this. If you're interested, again, come see a practitioner. But I'll tell you, it's Byron Katie and the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. And it gives you an opportunity to write all that stuff down, your judgments about somebody else and what they should be doing and shouldn't be doing and how bad they are. And then you flip it around. And you look at it because life is a mirror. And if you will look at that, you will find some gems, some hidden treasure about yourself, or some opportunity, some little something is going to bubble up and you're going to go, oh, look at that. I didn't know I still had that in here. Isn't it nice that Spirit let that come up to the surface so I could let it go? Making excuses. If you find yourself making excuses, you're probably in that victim mentality. Versus taking ownership for what is yours in the situation, right? And the willingness to take responsibility. The ability to respond. Right? If you're offing it on somebody else, you're blaming, putting it off to somebody else, you have no control. Right? So you have to turn it around and say, what is mine? What can I own here? Where can I make the change? And then this one, oh gosh, I know this one very well. Waiting and hoping things are going to change on their own. Somehow, some way, God's just going to send somebody or something to make this thing right. I'm still waiting to win the lotto. Right? The likelihood, it's probably not going to happen, so I need to take some action. Right? Not waiting for the thing to change. At a point, you have to take action. And that's going to move you also out of that feeling of victimhood. You have your agency because we all have our own agency. My 3-year-old granddaughter wants to do everything she can do for herself. Don't try to do something for her that she can do. She's not having it. And we all have that 2-year-old, that 3-year-old inside of us that wants to do it by ourselves. Right? So do it. Get into action, and it's going to start to pull you out of your negativity. So here's a visual for you. Feeling powerless, trapped, or victimized is a sign that you have given your power to outside circumstances. And I don't know if y'all can see this little guy here. He's dragging this thing on the back. That consumerism, the TV is telling him, the ads, what he needs to have. And he's probably feeling less than because he doesn't have the fancy car or the trophy wife or the whatever, right? Because all the consumerism says that's what you're supposed to have. That means a good life, right? How big is your bank account? How tall are you? How slim are you? We'll go on and on. Then he's reading the newspaper. Isn't that a great way to get your view on life? On the news, right? In the newspaper. And then his head is in this cage. I just feel sorry for him. When we blame others or perpetuate paradigms of separation, we forfeit our personal power to change. And that's what this teaching is about. It's about owning your personal power in your own life. And I have wondered, when I first found this teaching, I thought, any minute now, this place is just going to be booming. It has to, because it's like, wow, who doesn't need to know this? But the truth is, not everybody's ready for it. Right? Sometimes it's easier to blame the devil or blame some other thing, and you can stay in that realm of blaming other people and shaming and whatever, and never get around to changing the place where you can change yourself. And not everybody's ready to hear it. But I'm so glad that there's people in the room that are. I love that picture too. I've been out west in Arches, out in Utah, beautiful place. This says, you are in your authentic power when you believe more in the power that resides in, around, and through you than any condition around you. You get that? Right? You are in your power when you believe more in spirit, more in that power and presence that is in, around, and through all of us, what we call God. Right? Then you believe in any circumstance outside of you. Important stuff. And we have this lovely lady. Y'all know Maya Angelou? She said it like this: if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. That will change everything. Change in the place where you have the power and control to do that. So I'm going to put this challenge out to you. We get to try this, right? And we can talk about it. Maybe 2 weeks. It says 21 days. Let's see. I think we'll do circles our last Sunday because we're switching things up a little bit. And I want to see how many of you are willing and what this challenge feels like. So what it is to go for 3 weeks, because that's how long it takes to make a good habit. 3 weeks to go without blaming or complaining. Anyone feel like they could do that? It's really hard. It's hard to go a day. So you carry a little, like you can carry a piece of paper with you or something. Some people put the rubber band or this, like you start on one wrist and you go through the day, and the moment you feel yourself blaming or complaining, you put it, or how does it work? I don't know. You switch it. But you have to start over again. Like if you say today, I'm not going to complain for, maybe not 21 days, let's say 2 weeks. When we come together. Extra, let's make it easy. Should we make it easy? Make it easy. Because if you're thinking it, you at least have a moment to catch it. Right? So we're going to make it easy then. Go 2 weeks without complaining out loud. Okay, can you do that? And the minute you do it, you have to start over again. So you may have gone 6 days and then find yourself complaining. You got to start from day one again. Anybody else up for it? I'm gonna try it. I want to talk about this in 2 weeks and see where it is. I threw this idea out at the prison when I was volunteering. I was volunteering with the guys, and I gave them this 21-day challenge, and one of the guys actually did it. He was like 25 years old. He said, I'm going to try this. And he did. He came back. He was so lit up about it. Like everything changed for him. So it's fun. If nothing else, it's a challenge, right? Try it out for yourselves and just see the awareness of how often you're giving your power to outside circumstance. That awareness alone is enough to change things. Right? So that's my challenge to you. Go 2 weeks without complaining out loud to anybody. And then think about, instead of he, she, or they should, what could I do? Flip it around for yourself. All right? And we'll see what happens next month. Oh, well. Now we're getting in the weeds. But what about complaining about yourself? Like negatively? Oh, yeah. Can't do that either. Can't do that. If you catch it up here, you might catch it up here, right? Don't let the words come out of your mouth. All right. Okay. Complaining about anything, including yourself. Are we good? All right. Awesome. All right. There we go. We're going to report. So what have we gotten out of today? Don't be a victim. Don't be a victim. If you see yourself in any of those things, right? The us versus them, we'll go back to that. Where is it? There we go, right? Paradigms of separation, us versus them, blaming or shaming, demanding accountability from somebody else, making excuses, or waiting for something to get better on its own. Then you're probably not in the space of being a creator at that moment. So I would challenge you, right, to spin it and see what you can do to make the change. All right, and that brings us, what was that? Yes, the challenge. And that brings us to our affirmation, which I will say, and then I'm going to invite you all to say it with me. I am not bound by fear, circumstance, or limitation. I am awake and aware of the presence within me. That makes me a power for good in the world. Y'all ready? Okay. I am not bound by fear, circumstance, or limitation. I am awake and aware of the presence within me. That makes me a power for good in my world. And so it is, and so it is. Awesome. All right. Okay. So now we've got, I believe we're going to have a song from a young woman who will be performing here next Sunday. It's next Sunday evening, yes. We've got someone coming in the morning, and we'll talk about all of this. Shanda's going to tell us our announcements. But Kim is going to be performing in the evening, so we wanted to give you a little feel for her music and what she's about.
All right. So Miss Kim Blue, she is a consciousness rapper. She is a young lady who has taken her own struggles and put lyrics and words and brings this to the world in her own way. And I just love her. She's a great inspiration to me because it definitely is a different genre. And for her to bring something like rap into the New Thought world is just wonderful. And I just love that. So in honor of Dr. King, who would have been 95 on the 1st of January, about the same time Ernest Holmes was like, hey, yo, this thing called Science of Mind, man. Dr. King came through this expression, and he would have been 95. And as I was sitting there thinking about it, I thought, you know, he made such a big difference while he was here, but imagine what a bigger difference he did when he left, you know? Because when he left, he became a martyr. And when that happened, it was a bigger thing that happened to us. And so now I just invite you to take it in. And I love the djembe drum. It's something that I have connected to since my mother has passed. And so I wanted to bring that element into this as well, because we've all heard the sound of the drum. Every last one of us, no matter where your family's from, you've heard the drum, just the sound of your mother's heartbeat. So I invite you now to just regulate your nervous system with the sound of the drum. And meditative drumming is a thing. We're going to be putting that out there. So if you want to learn how to do this thing, which is the drum along, I call it, just listen out for that, because when it comes on, I'll teach you how to drum. Everybody knows how to drum because, well, everybody's been a child in their mother's womb before.
Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside.
When I think about the great Dr. King, the man that he was, his vision and dream. When I think about what he saw for the future, how he never lost hope that we'd all come together. I wonder if he could ever have imagined that progress would stall and we'd lose our ambition. I wonder if he thought after all this time we'd still have solutions we're trying to find. Do you think he dreamt of the crime in the streets or the battle among races there still seems to be? Do you think his vision involved guns and war, or is there a chance? You know he wanted more peace, more change, and more unity, more love between humans, more ways to be free. Today is a day we can breathe a new life, give hope to a vision that wants a great light. So listen to me and pay close attention, cause today I'm proposing a new resurrection, y'all.
I have a dream. I have a dream.
If you have a dream you would like to see, just have a little faith and we'll give it some wings. We can watch it fly and together lift it up, as today we celebrate in this season of love.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
I wonder how it is that we got this far by accepting this as the way that things are. What if no one had marched in the street and instead of fighting on, accepted defeat? What if we all became passive bystanders, hoping for change but unwilling to bother with being the ones who may face ridicule, or even worse yet, being seen as a fool? How will our children know what to stand for if all that we offer is anger and war? How are we honoring Gandhi and King if we can't find a way to fulfill both their dreams? Take someone willing to stand and be heard, to cling to their dreams and not be deterred. There is no time, it's better than now. To stand up today and show we know how to dust off those dreams and fulfill their direction as we all take part in this great resurrection, y'all.
I have a dream today. I have a dream today.
If you have a dream you would like to see, just have a little faith and we'll give it some wings. We can watch it fly and together lift it up. As today we celebrate in this season of love.
Little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Now I know that I've had my dreams too. Maybe they're dreams I didn't pursue, or maybe they're dreams that never saw light, but have lived in my heart through each day and night. And maybe, just maybe, you too have had a dream, just like the one that was held by Dr. King. See, I believe in the power of our dreams and the need to fulfill them, to bring us to freedom. But I don't believe it's ever room for hate, and I don't believe it's ever too late, and I don't believe that races should divide, but I do believe that we can all unite and make the impossible a possibility and really give meaning to the word unity. So open up your dream and let's lift it up. We'll give a new life and fill it with love as we all take part in the great jubilation of raising our dreams in this resurrection, y'all.
I have a dream.
If you
got a
have a
dream
dream
that you
you
wanna
would
sing?
like to see,
Dr. King had a dream
just
too.
have a
Yeah,
little
today's the
faith
day
and we'll
we're gonna
give it
resurrect
some
our dreams.
wings.
We're gonna
We
give
can
them some
watch
wings
it
and watch them fly.
and
Yeah.
together lift it
Season
up.
of love, y'all.
As
Let's
today
lift up
we
our dreams in this
celebrate
resurrection.
this season of love.
We'll be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
So I want you to just take a quick little look around the room. I take care of a lot of patients who are 95 years old, and he would have seen his dream today. And as my children walk, as biracial children on this planet, it's covered in love, they are it, walking and living and breathing. We're making this change. 95, you guys. 95. I have patients older than that who are still thriving and doing their thing. And this man, the dream is here today. So thank you for being the fulfillment of that dream by your decisions and your choices that brought you to here. And whatever that was, regardless of the circumstances, we've made choices. So I came all the way from Jamaica to sit in here and share my culture. Blessings.
Alrighty. I think it is time for sharing our gifts and tithes, and I'm going to invite Reverend Peggy to do that blessing for us. What's that? Yes, we'll do our affirmation. Let me just, here, Reverend Peggy. Oh, she's got one. Okay, great, great, great. So yes, this is a time for us to share our gifts and tithes. As we said, we are part of a larger movement, but we are a freestanding organization, and we function and survive. All that we do is because of the giving of the people that are here, of the people who believe in our vision and our mission and help us get it out in the world. So we're going to invite you to do this affirmation, and Reverend Peggy is going to say a prayer and anything else you want to say. Yeah. And our prayer requests. Erin's got our prayer request chest. So if you have a prayer, if you're going through a challenge, there's something you would like for us to pray for you during the week, we would be glad to do that. And Erin's got that, and Christina's got the basket.
Let's do the affirmation. Let's do the affirmation together. Am I on? Testing. There I am.
There you are.
Thank you. Hear me now. Thank you. Let's do the affirmation together right now. It is the nature of life to give of itself.
as it is the tree's nature to bear fruit, and the flower's nature to bloom. It is my nature to share the gifts of my time, talent, and treasure. I participate in the divine flow of life, giving generously and receiving abundantly. I am blessed, and I am a blessing. I am grateful. So I would invite us to say this last paragraph again and feel what we're saying. I participate in the divine flow of life, giving generously and receiving abundantly. I am blessed, and I am a blessing. I am grateful. And so while they're passing around the prayer chest, and if you give like I'm now giving to CSL Ocala, mine comes directly from my bank in the mail to the mailbox out there, probably. So I don't put something into the box, into the basket on Sunday anymore. But let's do that with the sense that we're giving in this moment. And go ahead and pass the basket. And then those of you with prayer requests, what is the dream of your heart today? What would you like help on bringing into your life? You know, these people that have been trained as practitioners and ministers, and we have a visiting practitioner from Sarasota today. Julie, would you raise your hand? So, you know, we've got practitioners all over. Isn't that wonderful? They love to pray for you. So when you put in your prayer request, know that they're knowing the truth about that request for you in the now moment. And how many of us would love to have help to have our wishes come true, our dreams come true? And that's what we do here at the center. You know, our ministers and practitioners love to pray for others, knowing the truth of that abundance that we just talked about. So as they're coming around this morning, think about the abundance in your life. And think about how you'd love to see your abundance grow for the dreams of your heart. And know that the way that you give comes back full circle to be received by you. And as we give generously, we can expect to receive generously. And this center thrives, and this movement thrives in the world because we know the value of it, and we give to it our time, our talent, our treasure. And we can know with a certainty that that does come back to bless our lives, to bless the lives of our loved ones. And I'm noticing that Julie, the practitioner from Sarasota, is agreeing with me because she keeps nodding her head. Okay. Well, let's turn within, shall we? Let's feel ourselves in this place of abundance. This idea that we couldn't possibly count all the grains of sand outside the door here. If we were to go outside and scoop up some sand, there are more grains of sand that we would pull in our hand than we would choose to count. We live in an abundant universe. The source that surrounds us and fills us wants us to live prosperously. And part of what we can do is to be giving to this center, to give to those places where we feel there is a need, and give also to where we are fed spiritually, knowing that we set that wondrous law of abundance in motion when we give in that way. So I give thanks this morning for the tithes and offerings that have been coming to the center in the basket this morning, in baskets in the past, through the mail, directly from one account into the account here, knowing that we are part of this participation of celebrating an abundance of all good. And I give thanks for the prayer requests, those that have been put in the prayer chest today. And this prayer chest has been passed for 20, 30 years in this center. I've seen it years ago. I'm celebrating seeing it again. This prayer chest has handled prayer requests that have been answered for decades. And for us to feel a part of that as we have a request for prayer, we don't hold back. How wonderful it is to know that the ministers and practitioners that we see each week and love are the ones that will be praying for our answered prayer.
prayers for loved ones, prayers for our world. I give thanks for those prayers and give thanks for those praying, knowing that those that are praying know the prayer is answered. It's already fulfilled in divine mind and blesses the lives of those who are open to receive the answered prayer. I give thanks that all of this is so. And let us say together, and so it is.
That's great. Thank you, Reverend Peggy. Shandy, you want to do announcements? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yes, you feel the energy is building. And here's the clicker.
We got a lot going on. Hello? There we go. So first, I'm really loud. First thing is next Sunday. Normally it would be a Circle Sunday, but we actually, Dr. Laura Cole was supposed to come in last weekend, and with the weather, she wasn't able to get out of Houston, so we were very, very fortunate to have someone who could step in for her. We had an amazing, amazing spiritual practice, all about energy and everything. So Dr. Cole is going to be coming in next weekend. She'll be here at the 11 o'clock for that service. And basically, the bottom says she's creating a clear vision for your future, which involves planning in the 4 essential quadrants of life, health, relationships, creative expression, vocation, and time and money freedom. So that sounds a lot like our values that we have here. So please, please come. And live by design, not by default. So you create. Then, as we listen to Donna Drum, to Kim Ballou, sorry, she will be here next Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And we have on Eventbrite. You can purchase tickets for her, and it's a $20 for the ticket for the actual concert. And then the VIP, there's going to be an after party, so to speak, at Your Phoenix is Rising. If you don't know where that is, Donna and Norma can tell you. It's a great place. That's going to be a $30 that you would pay when you get there. I don't think we can.
On Eventbrite.
We can get it on Eventbrite. Okay. Or here. Okay. And I don't know a lot about Kim, but from what I understand, she's had many, many experiences throughout her life.
All right, so y'all, when I first heard this young lady's story, she is a survivor and victor of human trafficking. She was trafficked into that when she was a child and was able to escape and has been using her platform as an artist to raise awareness for that. And she shares her story globally and on TED Talks to bring awareness to that particular thing that's going on in our world. So again, you know, you can be a victim or you can do something. And so that is what she's doing. I'm very grateful that she's a friend, and I'm grateful that she chose to come here. A lot of these artists actually request to come to our community. And the reason for that is because of how welcoming, and I mean, we just respond right back at them. We sing their music right with them. We dance. We really give them back the energy, because when you're giving of yourself, it's nice to receive. And it's not just about the money. It's about that awareness, the light bulb going off, and knowing that what you're doing in the world is making a difference. So this young lady, man, you know, the VIP is probably where she's going to share a lot of that story, and just you can ask her questions, and she's very, very open, and it's powerful stuff, so you definitely don't want to miss that. And of course, we're going to feed you too a little bit of hors d'oeuvres and all that.
Thank you, Donna. And then we have our classes starting back up. So Foundations is the essential class that gives you all the basis of the science in mind. Great 10-week class. I took it myself the last time it was offered, and it really gave me a lot of insight into the whole science of mind. So that's going to begin on March 5th.
And it's certificated, so if you'd like to become a practitioner, it does go towards that, as well as if you've had it before and you want to just audit because it's been a while, you can audit and just pay the registration fee. You don't have to pay for the class again. If you're interested in that, please just let me know. Plus, we also have a sheet over here that you can sign in.
And we're also doing the Prosperity Plus, which is Prosperity Plus 1. And are you guys, it's starting also on March 5th. Are they going to be at 2 different times? Are they going to be at the same time? Back to back? Okay. And okay, at 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So foundations will be immediately following service or circle, whatever we may have. And then at 6 o'clock, break for some sort of food. And then at 6 o'clock for another 3-hour class for the Prosperity Plus. And then Prosperity Plus 2. So I know some people who took Prosperity Plus 1 have been waiting for 2 to come out. So that is going to be March 8th, which are Wednesday evenings. And what time? 6? Okay. Okay. Okay, so that'll be on Wednesday evenings. That's, again, a 10-week course. And Donna and Norma, you guys, well, everybody knows you guys. Donna and Norma, they have the information. Like Donna said, there's a sign-up sheet over here if you're interested in that. And they're working on creating an essential Ernest Holmes class online. So that's for anybody who wants to move in and along that path of practitioners. She's celebrating already. And we'll have more information for that as it gets set up and the whole curriculum is being able to be put online so everyone can gain from it. And then our partners who are here during the week, Aura, next Saturday from 10 to 2, they're having a community yard sale here. So if anybody's interested to support them, and their proceeds all go to support them here, and they do a lot of work with mental health awareness and helping people to get back into the community who are dealing with things like that. So please come out and support them.
Hey, Shanda.
Yes.
I've seen their stuff. It's really nice stuff. There's a lot of nice stuff. So if you like yard sales, come and check it out. And also on the Aura Clubhouse, Tuesday, Valentine's Day, there's, I think at noon, I don't remember. We're meeting with folks from the County Extension Service to talk about where we're going to plant some raised beds and our edible landscaping and some really fun stuff. So if you want to be part of that, join us on Tuesday. I don't think there's a slide for it.
Nope.
So.
Okay, and then going into March, these are just some events that we're going to go out and represent CSL. We are going to be at the Strawberry Festival, which is Saturday, March 4th, and it is a long day, 9 to 5 a.m. or 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we're going to be out there all day. I'm looking forward to it. I've never been there, and I love strawberries. So, and then the next weekend, we're going to be at the Veg Fest, and that is actually on a Sunday. So some of us, unfortunately, we're going to be out at that. We're not going to be able to be here at service, but that's 10 to 3 p.m. down at the Ocala downtown market. So that's coming up. And then the Enneagram experience. And Donna, do you want to speak a little on that one too, or Cindy, what all that involves? And that's March 25th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And there is a $49
Yeah, the
price on that
Enneagram
one.
is it's pretty much a full day workshop that's on your personality. If anyone's ever done Myers-Briggs to find out if you're an introvert, an extrovert, or whatever, this is very similar, but there's, I think, 9 different personality types, and they do a deep dive into that. It's fascinating work. Helps uncover some of that stuff, that unconscious stuff.
And March 25th, that's actually a Saturday.
Yes,
so
and they're wonderful, and they're going to be here the next day for the do a concert, or a Taizé service, I think is what they're doing the next day.
And then Amy Steinberg. We're going to have a Friday, April 14th concert, 7 p.m. I know they're going to do VIP for that as well. And from what I understand, this is Amy's new CD that's coming out, and she's choosing to kick off her tour here in Ocala at CSL. So that's awesome. And it's her 12th CD. And very exciting. And then volunteers. All these events, we need people to help.
Yeah.
So please, please help.
You want to give her the mic?
You want a mic?
You want to get up?
They cannot hear you online, honey. Come grab a microphone.
Go ahead, go
We
ahead.
are pulling her out of her little shell here, but this young lady,
No, I am out of my shell. I am out of my shell. If anybody would like to help with any of the events, please come see me. That would be great. Anything else? Anybody have questions? I will answer.
Just some love because she came up with the game night idea.
Yeah, I
and
just
really
put it
did
all
that.
together. I don't like the game, no, but that'd be great. So I'm looking forward to more events throughout the year, so I could feel that awesome energy. So thank you, and I'm complete. I'm complete.
I mean, this is a little off base from volunteering, but we also, and I know we have a lot of new people here, we also can do outside events.
Yes.
So birthday parties, you just want to have a party to have a gathering, a family reunion, a wedding. Let us know.
Baby shower.
We have a baby shower. We have lots of different things that we can do. More than willing to do pretty much any of them. And then Qigong. I don't think I
She's
see
not
Sarah
here.
here today.
She wasn't feeling good.
Saturday mornings, 10 to 11, and that is with Sarah. That's been going on for a while. Love donation is requested for that if you are attending. And then the green team way in the back, Angel and Chris, they started us back up to clean the grounds, and they've had so many great volunteers that have helped them, and it's starting to look beautiful, and we're just going to keep making it better and better, and then, yes, and we're bringing in some more ideas, and I know you guys will do great implementing them out there and just making it absolutely beautiful. Yes, got it right on there. They meet second Sunday right after our Sunday service. Outside, if weather permits. Inside, if it doesn't. It's to go over just visioning and what they have coming up, what they want to do, the scheduling, cleanup days, things like that. So just see Angel or Chris in the back there, and they will get you started with them. They can always use extra hands. And then I will hand it back over to you, Miss
All
Cindy.
right.
We had a lot of announcements.
We
today.
did have a lot of announcements. Well, here you go, Donna.
So what I wanted to point out to you, if you look at the community vision boards here, we have the name of the different teams on the vision board, and then the volunteers. If you look in the Lotus, the ones that's holding the light for that team are those core members, and their names are here. If your name is not on here already and you know you're a core member, write it down so people can know who to go to. And if you are the one that is the team lead for that, please put your name there in the middle so people know who to go to. If you would like to volunteer on that team, let's say you said, you know what, I really love technology. I love knowing how the audio visual works. I want to be a part of that team. Just jot your name right there and then see the team lead. Okay, we want to see you. We know you have gifts and talent.
Thank you, Donna. Isn't she great?
I accept that.
Yes, accept that. Accept that. All right, it's been a wonderful morning, and I'm just going to invite you to say this prayer for protection, which comes from our friends at Unity, but we're all New Thought community, and it's just a really easy prayer. I thought for those of you who don't understand this modality, here's an easy one that you can remember and say to yourself whenever you need it. So it goes like this. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone. Hope to see you next Sunday.
Bring your friends,
Bring your
Dr. Laura
friends.
Cole and Kim Blue. You're going to love her.
Yes, yes. All right. Music maestro. Oh, this is Amy Steinberg, for those of you wondering why we love her so much.
Life can be so impossible.